Namaste, Namaskaram, Vanakkam, Namo Namaha, Jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there is a donate button if you'd like to help us out. And please stand up for the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. Continuing with Hasta, Pranayama, Lochana, Part 2. Please listen first to Part 1. The wisdom of life is right at hand. But so too, the wisdom of life has always been right here at the breath, which Hindus call pranayama. And remember that breath is our first and our last food, ana, A-N-A, respiration. And our word for food is ana, A-N-N-A. So let's look at the wisdom of breath and the wisdom of food. It's our first and last food, hence it makes a great deal of sense to take care of the breath, which means not doing things that harm the lungs, harm the breath. It means doing deep breathing exercises, exercising in general. This is the Hindu science of pranayama, the wisdom of taking in deep, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Breath is life, and we obviously take advantage of this wisdom by not focusing and appreciating the breath until perhaps we have it no more, when we quote-unquote run out of breath, or perhaps when we develop COPD, asthma. And in the depths of COPD, now we have to take what was given to us freely, we have to buy it. We now have to have air brought in through artificial means. So let's just consider for a moment the Rishi's wise use of ANA, ana, respiration, breath, our first and our last food, and then using that to help us understand the other important foods in life. We have physical food, taking care of the physical body, asana, and the physical food itself, ana. Hence we pray, Annapurane, Sarapurane, Sankarapanavale. When we say our blessings and praying for food to be full of food, full of truth, full of the vital wisdom of Shiva. Annapurane, Sarapurane, Sankarapanavale, Yanavaragi Siddhyartham Bhiksham Dehicha Parvati. And Ma Parvati. Because it's generally the mother that gives us our physical food. Hence in the Hindu Yoga Dharma we have tremendous respect for the Matajis. We have a whole sampradaya, the Shakti sampradaya, focusing on the mother, Kali, Durga, Parvati, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati. The vital food of life, ana, asana. Then we also have mental food and our very mind itself, mana. Notice all the ANAs included in these profound Sanskrit Hindu words. Feeding the mind so that it becomes our best friend instead of our worst enemy. And our emotions, bhavana. Learning to develop our EQ as well as our IQ. Have strong emotional understanding and control, appreciation. Then obviously we seek soul food, the atmana. And how do we do this? We do this by living the Hindu yoga lifestyle of sadhana, which starts with karma yoga and bhakti yoga and raja yoga, jnana yoga. We do this by doing a daily archana. We do our pujas, our devotions. We do this by doing our raja yoga meditations, dharana, dhyana, to the enlightened state of jnana. The rishis were wise in constructing these wonderful words that all had ANA, the food of life. But again, back to the breath. That just goes on, thankfully. We don't have to consciously think about it. But sometimes we take conscious control of the breathing and do deep breathing exercises, which help calm down the body and the mind and the emotions. In the Vedas, Actually, the twin physicians, the Ashvin twins, actually refer to the breath. Both the exhale and the inhale, the Bahir and the Antar, and the two nostrils, alternate nostril breathing, an integral part of the Hindu lifestyle. Next time you go to a puja, watch the pundit, the pujari, as they do alternate nostril breathing at some point in the beginning of the puja. This is a deep, deep understanding of now intrinsically understanding our left and right brain hemispheres and how the body diagonally works. The left brain controls the right side of the body, the right brain controls the left side of the body. Hence we walk in a diagonal pattern, making the magic X, the diagonal flow. And as Hindus, we do a deep study of these two brain hemispheres in the Pranayama exercise, the twin physicians. Remember, doctor, heal thyself. The Atmana is really the inner doctor. So as we inhale from one side to the other, closing one nostril, then the other, we're focusing on breathing into our left and our right brain. This is our masculine and our feminine nature, our Pingala and our Idda, which we all have, regardless of what gender we're born into. This knowledge would put an end to the non-binary nonsense we see today. Outwardly, we're either a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. But inwardly, we have two hemispheres of the brain. And we all have masculine and feminine qualities, both positive and negative. And some may exhibit more of one or the other. That does not change their gender. That does not change their biology. Today's insanity is really a superficial craving for recognition and a deep, deep inner misunderstanding, which Hindus can help to solve by this understanding of pranayama in the two brain hemispheres. Think for a moment that as we breathe in from the right side of the body to the left brain, we want to be positively male, whether we're a man or a woman biologically speaking. We want to be positive male, in other words, be analytical and logical and rational in thinking. And actually, this is the religious realm, rules, regulations, rituals, which is all a part of life. And then as we exhale, we want to get rid of negative masculine characteristics, which we all may suffer from at times. Hardness, crudeness, meanness, intolerance, inflexibility. And so too, whether we're a man or a woman in this life, we want to breathe in from the left side of the body to the right brain the positive feminine qualities. Know when to be soft, gentle, intuitive, creative, the more spiritual nature, if you will, meaning less to do with the outer and more to do with the inner realizations. And get rid of the negative feminine qualities which we all possess at certain times. Being cold, indifferent, erratic emotional highs and lows, depression, anxiety. So we respect the breath. B-R-E-A-T-H. Bring real energy and truth home. Let the breath calm down your body and your mind and your emotions. And if possible, watch how a baby breathes. They stomach breathe. Their stomach gently rises and falls. This is diaphragmatic breathing. This is using the diaphragmatic muscle, which actually allows for the inhalation and exhalation without any conscious thought whatsoever. And in a way, the diaphragmatic muscle kind of looks like a Shiva lingam. As you exhale, it pushes up and pushes the air out. As you inhale, it goes the other way. It contracts and sucks the air in. So this is a natural process. But when we consciously take a deep breath, we inhale, we fill the stomach, exhale, squeeze out the air, you're consciously building that diaphragmatic muscle, which, like any of our other muscles, does get weak over time. In fact, when people are suffering from various forms of breathing disorder, COPD for example, and they go to a breathing class, the pulmonologist or the aide will teach them some diaphragmatic breathing to help rebuild that muscle again. So generally we want to naturally breathe by inhaling, filling the stomach. Exhale, deflate the stomach. You can visualize it like a balloon. As you inhale, fill the balloon, exhale, deflate the balloon. And then also you can be a little more aggressive with it and squeeze all the air out, suck your stomach in, take a deep breath, fill your stomach, and then fill your lungs and chest, and you're pulling in at your stomach and you're holding the breath, big dynamic energy breath, and then exhale, relax the breath. And when you do this with practice, it should become a natural occurrence through the day. So periodically you could just put one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest and see how you're breathing. Your chest shouldn't move much at all. This should be from the abdomen, from the stomach. If you're breathing from the chest, that means you're generally excited, or you've just been so used to breathing in a wrong way. Chest breathing. Actually harder on the lungs. However, there is a reverse abdominal breathing that sometimes you can do. It's very energizing when you inhale and you suck your stomach in. And then exhale. That's a reverse abdominal breathing. But generally we want to breathe diaphragmatically, letting the stomach, like a baby again, achieving that relaxed state of a simple rise and a fall. The wisdom of the breath, ana, respiration, pranayama. And let's look at the simple wisdom of the breath of simply going out and going in, a balanced life. Go out, go in. This is also symbolized by Mahaganapati and other deities when they have one foot down and one foot up. Don't keep both feet down in the world in this sense. In other words, don't be so involved in the material world that we forget about our inner life. We do so at our peril. So we seek for a balance of keeping one foot in the world. Take care of business in the world. All of our responsibility is very important. But keep the other foot tucked up into the inner nature, the Atmana, if you will, the inner soul being, an introspective life. Have a good balance of extroversion and introversion, introspection. Know when to go out, know when to go in. And then as we proceed, as we age, we go through the decades, our outer commitments become less and less and less. And then we may be able to, and obviously at certain periods in any part of our life, we can put both feet up and go deep, deep within. Then again, coming out, putting one foot down, accepting our worldly responsibilities. Until we may come at a point in our life as we age where we have fewer and fewer outer responsibilities, and we can spend much more time just on the in-breath, if you will, the introspective life. And then perhaps as we live a good life, a balanced life, this is the ashrama dharma in Hinduism, where we become responsible students and family people, career, retired. And then we renounce, getting ready for the next life. Brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. And there may come a time when, having successfully done that, we come out and go into a deep life of sannyas, where we have conquered the outer, in a sense, in a previous lifetime, and gone through those experiences, and spend much, much more time on an introspective life, on an inner life. These are for the few, obviously, in all cultures, all traditions, whether it be the medicine man, the shamans, the monks, the nuns, the yogis, the swamis, the sannyasins. And this process is beautifully symbolized by Mahadeva Shiva. Sometimes you'll see him with both feet down like the stern father. Take care of your business in the world. At other times he has one foot up and one foot down, and sits with his wife, Parvati, and his 2 children. If you're going to be a family man, if you enter into grahast, take it responsibly. Take care of your spouse, take care of your children, do what you have to do. And then you'll see Mahadeva Shiva sitting all by himself, representing the life of sannyas, or later in any one lifetime when one sits in Padmasana, all alone in the forest, having transcended the material world, which remember means to climb. It doesn't mean to skip over it. That's transvalue. You get to the top of the mountain by transcending, by climbing, by starting at the bottom, finding a path that works for you, stepping on the path, and then sticking to it. And notice it gets harder the further you go up. So learn from the breath. Live a life of relaxed striving. Breathe. Bring real energy and truth home. And the wisdom's always been here at the eyes. It's not for nothing that people say that the eyes are the windows of the soul. Of course, again, as Hindus, we use the word Atmana, which is the tangible experience of inner energy, which you can all feel. Inner light, which we can feel, lightness, and perhaps see inner light through the mind. For it is the mind that truly sees. And then the feeling and experience of bliss or love. This is the reality of the Atmana, of Sat Chit Ananda, of love, light, and energy. So we have the two eyes, and we look out. We take care of the external world. We have our relationships as we seek to relate to others. This is the wisdom of religio, to relink, to rebind, of religion, of relationships, of remembering, as opposed to the opposite of disrespecting things, disjointing things, dislocating, disingenuous. That's really the anti-religious principle. So we use the two eyes, and then we close the eyes, and we look within at the third eye. This is why Hindus wear the bindi. And actually in the Rig Veda, as along with referring to themselves as Indu or Hindus, remember it's not a foreign word. Whether one uses the H or not, it doesn't change the meaning. It's just a simple difference in pronunciation. Indu, Hindu, same thing. The original homeland, the people, their practices, the Indus River Valley. It's a beautiful word. It's also a constellation, the Indus constellation. It's cosmic. It's earthy, the Indus River Valley. Refers to the people, the Indus or the Hindus. And then their practices, which became Hindu Dharma, or later Hinduism. And this beautiful Sanskrit word, it's a Sanskrit word, Hindu, means Chandra, Sarid, Bindu, Soma, moon, river, drop, the bindi, Soma, the nectar. So in this one word, we have the beauty of the Hindu Yoga Dharma. We worship the moon, Chandra. Without the moon, no life. We worship the rivers, water, Sarid. Without water, no life. We worship at the third eye point, the Bindu, the red mark, which represents the sun, Surya. No sun, no life. And we then uncover the Atmana. Sorry for that intrusion. So when we look at Chandra, Sarid, Bindu, Soma, we also see Hindu Dharma and the Sampradayas. Chandra, the moon, that's always associated with Shiva. Sarid, the river, is associated with the Matajis, Gangama, Shaktiism. And the red dot, the Bindu, the sun, Surya, Vaishnavism. The three Sampradayas, if you will. And then we are the observer, the practitioner. We are the Soma, the inner nectar, the Satchit Ananda. Beautiful, complex word. And please, Hindu, don't fall into the MO of the invaders that seek to divide and conquer. We are Hindus. We have other synonyms, of course, but we are hopefully a united Hindu family. We seek Atmadarshana through living our classical yoga lifestyle. So whether we use the H or not, it doesn't change the meaning of the word. And just pause for a moment and think that there are some Hindus, often we can see this in the south and the north, that say Siva, some say Shiva. Some say Sakti, some say Shakti, some say Santi, some say Shanti. It doesn't change the meaning. We know what is being said. And interestingly, in a converse way, Latin-speaking people, because they do not pronounce the letter H, when they see Hindu, they call us Indus. Oh, you're an Hindu. You follow Hinduismo. And unfortunately, often just repeating cliches, many Indians, whether they call themselves Hindus or not, will often say that you don't find the word Hindu in the Hindu scriptures, but we do. And we'll do a lengthy podcast on this. Again, whether you say Hindu or Hindu doesn't matter. So in the Rig Veda 984, Hindu samudra idyarti vayu here. Clearly the rishis were talking to themselves, fellow Hindus. With the support of the breath, grab a hold of the cosmic ocean within. Hindu samudra idyarti vayu here. And they would at times refer to themselves as Bindus. Again from the Rig Veda. Puram Bindu Vajri Purush Tutaha. Ancient soulful warrior. Bindu Indu Hindu. It's a beautiful word. And the mark of the Hindu. So we close the eyes and we look there, and we may perceive a soft white light or perhaps different colors. Remember, white contains all the colors. Or you may just experience the peace of absolute darkness. That's fine too. This is symbolized, of course, in Hinduism by Mother Kali and the Shiva Lingam. The absolute peace, the black hole, the dark center, where we must go every night in order to be refreshed during the day. The black hole. And we all have one. It's right in the center of the eye. And it's there that we unify. And here we just keep our mouth shut. Yato vacho nivartante prapis manasa saha. Beyond the mind, beyond speech, is this nivartante, this absolute experience. Thank goodness. Maunavakya Parabrahman. The Supreme Brahman is known through silent speech. Dakshinamurti, the silent teacher. This black hole at the center of our eye, it's called the pupil. So at that level, we need to be a good one and keep our mouth shut. Om Tat Sat. By definition, it is the aperture that admits and regulates the flow of light. Thus perceiving Durga-like, we blossom out into the unique, flowering colors of the iris. Like our fingerprints, no two eyes are alike. Eye recognition. The beautiful eyes of Meenakshi Parvati. Envision prosperity, Ma Lakshmi. And in the inner light, we perceive the inner wisdom, Ma Saraswati. So close your eyes and rest the wandering mind. And look inside and see what you can find. It's the Atmana, and this you'll know. Sitting quietly, let all the strife subside. Find the peace that's always inside. Shanti. It's the part of you that never dies. Aja Atma Mahandrubaha. It's the soul, the Atmana, and this you'll know. But we have to live life. We develop compassion through passion, living life, searching everywhere for happiness, until we finally come to rest in the soul, the Atmana, and this you'll know. In the soul and this we will all know. So close your eyes and focus at the single eye. It's even on the back of the $1 bill. Anta Jyotir Bahir Jyotihi Pratya Jyotihi Paraparam Jyotir Jyotihi Swayan Jyotihi Atma Jyotihi Sivoshmyaham. Say to yourself, I am the light within and the light without. That light is the Atmana beyond cause. The light of all lights, self-effulgent, always burning light. The Atmana is light. We are that, imperishable. So the wisdom's always been here. It's been in our hand. It's been in our breath. It's been in our eyes and our single eye. Jyoti, Jyoti, Jyotihi. Shakti, Shakti, Shaktihi. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Love, light, and energy, Om. This are we with emotions, mind, and body. Today's podcast, the Guru as the bus driver. Welcome aboard, passengers, on the bus of Hindu Dharma. Destination, Samadhi, Moksha, Kaivalyam, Atmadarshana. Take your seats, enjoy the ride, and remember you have chosen this bus. You could have chosen another one with another destination. Bus, be yourself. Know yourself. Know who you are. Know what you want. Know what your goal is. On the Hindu bus, we are obviously Hindus or students of Hindu Dharma. And our goal is Atmadarshana, to realize our inner essence, Hindus call the Atmana. And we do that through living the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. And as the guru, the bus driver, responsible for helping you to get there. So one day you too can drive your own bus and perhaps have your own passengers. And you know what it takes to become a bus driver? Charter bus driver, for example? Well, first of all, you have to have at least a high school education. You have to then go for your commercial license, which you begin as a provisional license. You have to spend 6 months driving with a certified commercial driver. And then you take the test for your CDL, your commercial driver's license. And then you have to undergo a total physical exam, including an eye exam, hearing exam. And you have to have a full drug test, full background check. And then prior to all of this, you have to have several years of driving large vehicles. Wow. You know what? And a clean driving record, obviously. No license suspensions at all. Very rigid qualifications to become a bus driver. And here's something very interesting. In as little as 200 hours, without any of this, one can become a professional, certified yoga teacher, hired in hospitals and schools, teaching children. We're truly living in a time of total insanity. I mean, obviously people don't even know now whether they're a male or a female, or they can just choose whichever one they want to be. Woke? I don't think so. What does it take to teach any of the specific religions of the world? Well, first and foremost, one has to be a member of that religion. One may be born into it, and then they obviously go through various teaching and ceremonies, initiations. Or if one was not formally introduced into any religion, they can join a religion of their choice, but it would take lengthy study, commitment. So here we have people who are becoming so-called yoga teachers, which obviously has to be completely divorced from religion, and specifically the Hindu religion. When people become certified, that means that the public can trust them. Obviously, people certainly can make mistakes, but at least with a certification, they're in charge of taking care of other people. So these certifications must be lengthy and rigid, with some basic standards. Clearly, when we get on a bus, we want that bus driver to know exactly what they're doing, and they have a great responsibility for the lives of all of their passengers. So in the phony yoga movement of today, and remember, the Sanskrit, Tamil, Hindu word yoga, yogam, actually has absolutely nothing to do with the physical body at all. It's about uncovering the inner spirit, which Hindus call the Atmana. This is a deeply, deeply religious process. Now, there is one aspect of the Hindu Yoga Dharma called Hatha Yoga, and these are devotional postures that were never, ever meant to be on open display, never turned into some kind of a crass physical exercise or a quasi-spirituality. So while no one would trust a bus driver who was just some kid off the street that maybe just got their license, who would trust a doctor who took a 6-week course? Do you know it takes 1,500 hours to become a dog groomer? To sit for one's barber's license? It takes years to become a plumber, a master plumber, contractor. It takes at least 2 years of working at McDonald's before one can go into management training. And yet here again we're taking something which is supposed to be so profound and making it so sacrilegious, actually, so profane, and totally distorting the Hindu yogas. And what's even worse is that far few Hindus speak up or say anything at all, and even some of them are capitulating. So when it comes to be yourself or a bus, if you don't like that, well, change that. Ask yourself, are you an honorable person? Are you an honest person? Or do you simply fall in with the latest fad, the latest trend, and simply appropriate from others? Just stop and pause for a moment and think that all of the religions of the world only came into being because of innumerable dedicated individuals that completely devoted their whole lives to these various religious paths that we have today. Stealing from them, extrapolating out yoga, for example, from the Hindus, mindfulness from Buddhism, which actually comes from Hinduism to begin with, is just the mark of the arrogant egotist, the elitist, the colonial mindset that's still with us. So it's way past time to wake up to this total denigration of the sacred Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. For all those people into today's so-called yoga, if you're not willing to admit what it is, Hindu Dharma, just get out of it. Go teach your stretching and relaxation classes, for that's generally what you're doing. Or if you're truly interested, then take a step back. Find a Hindu organization. Do some studies on your own and get fully immersed in the Hindu Yoga Dharma. Fully become a Hindu. And then maybe a decade or two later, become a teacher. This would be the honest and ethical thing to do. Or just choose to be a superficial yoga star, if you will. Have your glitzy website. Have your picture all over Facebook, Instagram. Be totally deluded and yet not even know you're deluded. As a great mystic from Sri Lanka, Yoga Swami said, the blind and the blind in a blind dance shuffle. In this case, the yoga teachers are blind, the students are blind, the practice is blind. Awake, arise, and be honorable and wise. Remember, wisdom is the ability to discern or recognize difference. Exercise sound judgment. The ability to make wise decisions. Think, and critically think. The need to distinguish between rational and irrational beliefs through logic and a thorough testing of the claims made. Don't be a pawn to the latest fad. Don't be a pawn to your own ego. Stand up and be a mature, compassionate, honest human being.